Good morning. Welcome to Talks to Anthony. Today we're going to have a insightful conversation. For those that are new to the channel, we make mental health conversations and content that's going to be beneficial to your personal development in addition to your well-being, right? But in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about why self-awareness comes before self-change, right? Like I said, I just want to give you some understanding because you don't just dive into change and like, it don't just happen like that. You got to have some understanding. Something had to happen. Like what transpired, right? Why do I want to do this, right? What is your why, right? So lasting change doesn't begin with just fixing yourself off rip. It begins with understanding yourself, right? So I really want to take that into consideration. So let's normalize and reduce some, self-criticism because, when we talk about change, when we talk about improvement, we talk about, we got to get some understanding, but we also tend to ruminate. We tend to like self-sabotage and negative. We ain't gonna do that. Possibilities. You can't get that. Like we're comparing ourselves to millionaires and all these people that got, these extravagant things, right? But we shut ourselves down, right? So, let's understand what's going on, right? So most of us react on autopilot, Most of us are just often we want to be able to kind of just feel as if that our reality is what we see, right? What we realize, what we recognize, right? But we also got to understand too our habits, right? Emotional responses, our patterns that develop for our reason, right? Our environments that we're in, right? If we're doing the same things over and over again, right? So like the things that we're seeing, observing, right? It don't just define us, right? But we got to also understand, like, what are we seeing? What's going on around us, right? So it's difficult to change our patterns when we're not fully, noticing what's really going on, right? We're not really, being aware, right? And I think that's really important for us to take in consideration because some of us, like I said, can just be on autopilot mode. We're just doing things subconsciously. We don't recognize what we're doing. We're just doing it, right? It's almost just like if someone's saying, like, for instance, like you're sleepwalking, for instance, so so kind of in that sense, right? So you're just doing something. However, moving forward, regardless of some type of education, to kind of get some more education, self-awareness is the ability to notice your thoughts, your emotions, your triggers, and your behaviors without immediately reacting to them, right? So I think it's really important to, like I said, get that journal, right? Really develop that strength, develop that self-rapport. It's your job, it's your due diligence to understand who you are, right? No one else out here is gonna come and really sit down with you, right? Other than a therapist is gonna help build you up, etc., right? But it's your job, to really understand who you are, right? You're born here, right? You're going to leave here type thing. So I really want to take that in consideration because we got to know who you are, right? It's really important because we go through school, we go through all these systems, we go through all these dynamics and culture and our family dynamic. But people tell us these things. People say you're this, people say you're that, right? And then we're able to like kind of stick with in our brains and like glue, right? But what about you? Why don't you accept what's going on? Why don't you assess what's going on, right? Which really, like, are you cool with that? Are you cool with this identity? Or do you find yourself that you're able to change your identity in regards to your character, how you see yourself, right? Because I really want us to take that into consideration because that's why I'm gonna give you a term right now. It's called self-differentiation, right? You know what I mean? Because it's like I said, for some of us, we came from dynamics where people put these things into us, these labels and all these names, and et cetera, and we walk with that identity. We walked in that light, we walked in that shame, and we felt what we felt, right? But now it's your responsibility to really sit with yourself, right? And whatever happened in that past, whatever happened with regards to your experience, you're able to really assess that and really accept, is this what I want? Are these my values? Is this who I really am, right? Am I going to leave this? Am I going to take that, right? And just build and keep growing, right? So I really want to take that in consideration, right? So awareness creates pause between what you feel and what you need to do, right? So it allows you to kind of understand what that mindfulness, right, with that reassurance, right, understanding, who you are, and then building off of like what you need to do in regards to moving forward, right? That's why it's always important for us to have that solitude, that alone time, get away from the noise, get away from these different environments, get away from these different people, right? Because understand that people's energy, they kind of cling on to us, right? We got to take these in consideration, right? But that pause, that alone time allows you to, make the choices and make decisions that can be beneficial for who? Yourself, right? This is very important for our personal development, right? Because if we want to be able to say that we want to get there, right? But we know the steps and what it takes, right? How are we going to be able to proactively make the steps if we're not, doing what we have to do, right? And having the time to really, reflect on what we need to do, right? So I really want us to take that into consideration, right? Moving forward in regards to practical reframing, right? So when we know better, we tend to do better. So before asking, how do I change, right, this, I want you to ask yourself, is that what behavior am I trying to accomplish? Because we have to be able to assess our behaviors, right? So curiosity begins with the growth, then that criticism, right? So like I said, sometimes our minds dive right into, negative thinking, that rumination off rip. But that's not going to help us get to where we need to be, right? So I really want us to, like I said, avoid the negative, negativity, and really kind of boost yourself up, because it's going to help you get to the outcome that you anticipate, right? Yes, you can do it. Yes, you can apply the action. Yes, you are trying. Yes, you are showing up, right? So really affirm yourself in that sense, right? So understanding the patterns help you change more effectively when, like I said, you're using that positive self-talk, you're boosting yourself up, you're allowing yourself to really stretch the neuroplasticity, those neural wave lines inside your brain, to really, work towards getting you moving forward, right? So I really want to take that in consideration. So instead of blaming yourself, instead of diving into, like I said, negative behavior, I want you guys to dive into more of that curiosity, more of that need, more of the self-belief that you're able to accomplish whatever you want, under the belief that, of the fears and all those things that are holding you back, right? So we're going to get outside our comfort zone, right? So this is going to be able to help us move forward. Like I said, immediate application that we're able to apply is think about, like I said, one behavior that you would like to change. Ask yourself, well, when is this happening, right? What is usually, what are the triggers? What's really going on, right? What emotions that show up before, right? Do you get sweaty palms? Did your face turn red? What's really going on, right? So observe the patterns, observe what's going on, and what you're able to do to fix the situation, right? So what might, you learn in this situation in regards to your behavior, instead of being, like I said, the critic? What are you able to, like I said, apply for the future? What are you able to, like I said, have that solution for the future, so you're able to, navigate moments when you are, in stress, or you have that concern. So just wrapping up this video together, I really want to understand, like I said, self-awareness is something that we got to be able to have. We got to be able to put that work in, right? It's something that we have the time. Let's be real, right? We have the time, but we have to be able to want this. We have to be able to be consistent. We have to be able to, like I said, take that action. The more that we put in, the more beneficial it's going to be, right? So, like I said, the next step is recognizing self-awareness. Anything that you put your mind to, you can definitely do it, right? But understand that like I said, you're gonna have to have that deeper understanding amongst yourself, right? So this is not something that you just do one day. This is not something that you do for 1 week, not something you do for 1 month and just like it's over with, right? This is a continuous process, right? So this is a lifetime like journey, right? So it's almost like when you go to the gym, right? Same things you got to apply in regards to your mindset, in regards to your mental health, right? So build a rapport with yourself, build a self-compassion, build a self-love with yourself, right? If you need therapy, hop into therapy, right? Some people are getting out of therapy because they already have the regimen, they know what they got going on, they know to handle the situations, right? They have the self-awareness, right? They put the work in, right? But I really want you to take in consideration that anything that you, like I said, that you do, you put your mind to, you can accomplish, right? So apply yourself with the self-awareness, and things will be better for you. If you found this video beneficial, give it a thumbs up, share if possible, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.